Imagine for a second that you just finished paying all your monthly bills. You look at your bank account and realize something shocking. There is actually money left over. I know, it sounds like a total dream, or maybe a scene from a movie, but let's say it is real. Now you have a huge choice to make. This choice could literally decide your future. Will you be sipping a nice drink on a beach during retirement, or will you be struggling to pay for basic groceries when you are 75? Welcome to the channel. I am Siraz Patwari. If you want to stop feeling lost with your money, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. We are diving deep today into the ultimate battle. Should you kill your debt, or should you grow your wealth through investing? This is not a casual choice like picking what to watch on TV tonight. This decision can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Heck, it could be worth millions if you play it smart. Most people just go with their gut feeling. They guess what to do. But guessing with your future is like throwing darts while wearing a blindfold. We are going to look at the real math today. We are going to see what actually builds wealth. I want you to stop making other people rich with your interest payments. Let's talk about how to make yourself rich instead. Think about what happens when you pay off a debt. It is actually a bit of a magic trick. When you pay off a loan, you are basically earning a guaranteed return. That return is exactly equal to the interest rate on that debt. Think about it this way. Imagine you have a credit card that charges you 22% interest. If you pay that card off, you just made a 22% return on your money. That is a risk-free return. Go ahead and try to find that kind of guarantee in the stock market. I will wait. You won't find it. The market is a wild ride. Historically, the stock market gives you about 10% a year. But that is an average over a very long time. The market does not care about your feelings. It does not care about your personal timeline. Some years it might go up 30%. Other years it might snatch away 40% of your wealth just to keep things interesting. So here is the big question. Does it make sense to pay off a 5% loan when you could maybe earn 10% investing? The math looks simple on paper. 5% guaranteed versus 10% potential. You should invest the difference and keep the profit, right? Well, if we were all robots, we would just do the math and be done. But we are humans. Risk changes everything. When you pay down debt, you get that guaranteed win. No market crash can take away the interest you are no longer paying. No recession can touch the feeling of having one less bill. It is boring. It is predictable. And it is totally certain. Investing is a bit different. It is like dating someone who is amazing when things are good, but they might vanish right when you need them most. The returns can be huge, but you also have to be okay watching your money disappear sometimes. Let's look at some real numbers to see how this works. Numbers make things so much clearer. Imagine you have a mortgage for $350,000. Your interest rate is 4% for 30 years. Your monthly payment is about $1,670. Now, let's say you found an extra $1,000 every month. You have two choices. You can attack the mortgage, or you can invest it. If you decide to be a debt warrior, you throw that extra $1,000 at the house. You will be debt-free in about 14.5 years. That cuts your timeline in half. You also save about $140,000 in interest. That feels pretty great, doesn't it? But wait, there is more to the story. Once you are debt-free in year 14, you have a lot of extra cash. You have your original extra $1,000 plus your old mortgage payment. That is over $2,600 a month. You start investing all of that for the next 15 years. If you get that 10% market return, you end up with about $1.2 million. After you account for the interest you saved, your total wealth is around $1.1 million. That is a solid win. But let's look at the other side. What if you just paid the minimum on the house and invested the extra $1,000 from day one? This is where compound interest starts to show off. By investing that $1,000 for the full 30 years, your account grows. It grows to roughly $2.2 million. Yes, you paid more interest on the house. You paid about $250,000 in interest. But even after that, you are left with $1.9 million. That is an $800,000 difference. $800,000. That is not just pocket change. That is the kind of money that changes your life. It turns your old age into a true golden period. But I have to be honest with you. Those numbers assume everything goes perfectly. They assume the market behaves. They assume you don't panic and sell everything when the market drops. And they assume you don't have a massive emergency. Mortgages are actually a special kind of debt. They usually have very low interest rates. Sometimes the rate is barely higher than inflation. This is what some people call good debt. It sounds weird, I know. How can debt be good? But smart investors actually like keeping these loans around. They want to keep them as long as possible. Here is a secret that most people forget. Inflation is actually working for you when you have a fixed-rate loan. That mortgage payment feels big today, but in 20 years, it will feel much smaller. Why? Because inflation makes everything more expensive, but your mortgage payment stays the same. It is frozen in time. Think about the price of coffee 10 years ago. Now look at the price today. Your mortgage doesn't care about those price hikes. In 15 years, you are paying that same bill with money that is worth much less. You are basically paying back the bank with monopoly money. It is totally legal, and the bank cannot do anything about it. This is why experts get excited about long mortgages. They are borrowing today's expensive dollars. They are paying them back with tomorrow's cheap dollars. Meanwhile, your investments usually grow faster than inflation. You are winning on both sides of the game. But we need to slow down for a second. Not all debt is created equal. If we are talking about credit cards, everything changes. Credit card companies are not your friends. They charge 18, 22, or even 29% interest. That is basically financial robbery with a smile. When you have high interest debt, the math is clear. There is no safe investment that can beat 25% interest. You might get lucky on a stock tip from a cousin, but you are more likely to lose everything. This is where you use the debt avalanche. You attack the highest interest rates first. It doesn't matter how big the balance is. Mathematically, this saves you the most money. It might not feel as good as knocking out small balances first, but your future bank account will be much happier. Then we have student loans. They are in a weird middle ground. Usually, the rates are moderate. They are higher than a mortgage but lower than a credit card. Plus, you might get a tax deduction on the interest. Some student loans are at 3 or 4%. That makes it a tough choice. Should you invest or pay them off? It gets tricky because you can't sell your education. If things get tough, you can't get rid of that debt like you can a house. Car loans are another interesting case. Most car loans are between 4 and 8%, but cars are losing value every single day. They are depreciating assets. When you put extra money into a car loan, you are paying more for something that is worth less. It is like paying a premium price for a movie that gets worse every time you watch it. From a math standpoint, it often makes more sense to just invest that money. Let the car lose value while your investments grow. Your age and your life stage matter a lot too. If you are 25 and have a steady job, you can take more risks. If the market crashes, you have decades to wait for it to come back. You can ride the wave and get those big returns. But if you are 55, a market crash feels very different. You don't have 20 years to wait for a recovery. Suddenly, the guaranteed return of paying off debt looks much better. Risk tolerance isn't just about your age, though. It is about your personality. Some people just can't sleep when they owe money. They hate debt. Even if the math says they should invest, they would rather be debt-free. And that is okay. Peace of mind has a real value. It just doesn't show up on a spreadsheet. Other people are fine with debt. They see it as a tool. They will keep a mortgage and invest the cash. They might even finance a car at 0% just to keep their money in the market. Neither way is wrong. It depends on who you are. The only real mistake is switching your plan every few months. Don't forget about your cash flow. Debt payments eat up your monthly flexibility. If you lose your job, a big mortgage is a big problem. Investments are great, but they are not always easy to turn into cash. You cannot pay your power bill with potential gains in your stock account. This is why many people choose a middle ground. They do both at the same time. You can split your extra money. Put half toward the debt and half toward your investments. It might not be the most optimal math, but it helps you sleep better. It covers all your bases. And honestly, Psychology is just as important as math. Before you do any of this, you need an emergency fund. You need cash just sitting there doing nothing. It feels boring. It earns almost zero interest while inflation eats it. But if your car breaks down and you don't have cash, your whole plan falls apart. You will end up taking on more debt or selling investments at a bad time. Having 3 to 6 months of expenses is like insurance. It keeps your financial house from falling down in a storm. You also have to think about taxes. When you pay off a mortgage, you might lose a tax break. The government basically helps pay for your house through interest deductions. If you pay it off, that help goes away. But remember, a tax deduction means you are still spending money to save money. It is like buying something you don't need just because it is on sale. Investment taxes are also a factor. You will eventually owe taxes on your profits. This changes your real return. That 10% might really be 8% after Uncle Sam takes his cut. This is why things like a 401k or an IRA are so powerful, especially if your boss matches your contribution. That is literally free money. Turning down a company match is like saying no to a free raise. At the end of the day, there is no single answer for everyone. It depends on your interest rates and your goals. High interest debt? Attack it. Low interest debt? Maybe let it stay while you invest. The biggest mistake you can make is doing nothing. Don't spend years looking for the perfect plan. Just start. Pick a strategy and stick to it. Whether you are paying off debt or building an investment portfolio, the key is movement. Thank you for spending time with me today. I am Siraz Patwari, and I want to see you succeed. If this helped you, please subscribe and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Your future self will thank you for the work you do today. Stay focused and keep building that wealth.